Welcome to the English listening practice. Today, we have a really special story for you.
That's right. We're talking about one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Jennifer Aniston. But this isn't the story you think you know.
We'll go behind the scenes of her incredible life. We'll talk about how she went from being Rachel Green on Friends to a powerful Hollywood producer.
We'll share the story of her famous relationships, the difficult times, and how she took control of her own life. It's a fascinating story about survival and success.
And the best part is, you'll learn a lot of useful English vocabulary and expressions along the way. So make sure you listen to the very end. The story begins at the Screen Actors Guild Awards on January 19, 2020. The room was full of Hollywood's biggest stars. They were wearing expensive clothes and had nervous smiles. But all eyes were on one woman, Jennifer Aniston. She was sitting at her table, looking beautiful in a white Dior dress. She seemed very calm, which was unusual in a room full of nervous people. For years, people saw her as the girl next door or America's sweetheart. But tonight, she was there to show the world who she really was. Then, the announcer's voice was heard. And the actor goes to Jennifer Aniston for the morning show. The crowd cheered loudly. As Jennifer walked to the stage, it was a huge moment for her. This award was for a role that was complicated and strong. It was everything people thought Rachel Green could never be. It was the result of many years of working hard to change her image. How did the woman with the most famous haircut in the world become such a Hollywood power player? This is a story about survival, smart planning, and defining who you are.
To understand Jennifer Aniston, we have to start at the beginning. She was born in Sherman Oaks, California, on February 11, 1969. Her family was already in the movie business. Her father, John Aniston, was a famous actor on the TV show Days of Our Lives. Her mother, Nancy Dow, was an actress and model. Her godfather was the TV star, Telly Savalas. From the outside, her life looked perfect for a future star. But inside her home, things were much more difficult. Later, Jennifer described her childhood home as destabilized and felt unsafe. It wasn't about money. It was about emotional problems from watching adults being unkind to each other. These early experiences shaped her. They made her hate conflict and want to create positive, supportive places. She later said she was grateful for this difficult time. It didn't make her angry. It made her strong. She said, "You've got lemons? Let's make lemonade."
The problems got worse when Jennifer was 9 years old. Her parents' marriage ended. Her father had an affair and left the family. Jennifer said he virtually fell off the face of the earth for a year. She remembered coming home from a birthday party. Her mother told her, "Your father's not going to be around here for a little while." She just remembered it felt strange that her father was suddenly gone. After the divorce, she lived with her mother in New York City. This difficult time affected her deeply. It made her careful about her own romantic relationships later in life. She said that watching her parents' problems didn't make me kind of go, "Oh, I can't wait to do that." She learned not to lose herself in a relationship.
Her relationship with her father was distant. But her relationship with her mother, Nancy, was painful in a different way. Nancy was a former model who Jennifer called gorgeous, stunning. But Nancy was very critical of her daughter. Jennifer has said her mother often criticized her looks. This made her feel like she wasn't the daughter her mother wanted. Jennifer felt her mother cared too much about how things looked on the outside. She said, "I was just wanting to be seen and wanting to be loved." This feeling was so strong that it reminded her of her 2018 movie, Dumplin'. The problems weren't only at home. In middle school, other kids made fun of her for being a little on the chubby side. She also learned in her early 20s that she had dyslexia. Dyslexia is a learning difficulty that makes reading hard. All these things, an unstable home, a distant father, a critical mother, and bullying, made her feel insecure. But it also gave her a strong motivation. She started to look for a new kind of family, a found family, built on support and loyalty. This desire would guide many of her life decisions, especially one involving 5 other actors in a coffee shop.
While her home life was difficult, she started building a new world for herself. When she was 11, Jennifer Aniston found a special place. It was the Rudolph Steiner School in New York City. It was a school that focused on creativity. There, she discovered acting and immediately loved it. She joined the school's drama club. For the first time, she felt like she belonged. She also had other creative talents. A painting she made when she was 11 was chosen to be shown at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. This showed she had an early talent for art. It was a sign that a confident artist was starting to grow, despite the problems at home.
Her love for acting took her to a famous high school. It was Manhattan's Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School, which inspired the movie fame. She graduated in 1987. LaGuardia was very different from her home life. It was a creative and exciting place where she could practice her skills and find friends. And she made some interesting friends. One of her close friends was Chaz Bono, who was the child of Sonny and Cher. Jennifer said their group of friends often hung out at Cher's amazing house. She remembered a funny story. Cher used to joke that Jennifer ate all the food. Jennifer would say, "How was I the only one eating the cold cuts?" This story shows she was a normal teenager, just one who raided a superstar's fridge. During this time, she also experimented with her style. She had a high school goth phase, which is very different from her later sunny California image. In the creative and supportive world of LaGuardia, Jennifer wasn't just learning to act. She was learning how to be herself, away from the criticism she faced at home.
After graduating in 1987, Jennifer didn't go to college. She decided to become a professional actress right away. She lived with her mother for a year and worked many jobs. She was a telemarketer, a bike messenger, and a waitress. At night, she acted in off-Broadway plays. Later, she moved back to Los Angeles to find more opportunities. But it was a time of constant rejection. She got her first TV role in 1990 in a show called Malloy, but it didn't last long. Then she was in a TV version of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but it was also canceled. A few other shows failed too. Her first big movie was in 1993, a horror comedy called Leprechaun. She later joked that it was her worst role. At the time, it wasn't the kind of movie that makes you a big star. It was just a job on a long road that seemed to be going nowhere.
By 1994, after 4 canceled TV shows, Jennifer was feeling very discouraged. The dream she had followed for so long felt like it was disappearing. This led to a famous Hollywood story. One day, she was at a gas station on Sunset Boulevard feeling very defeated. She saw Warren Littlefield, who was the head of NBC Entertainment. She walked up to the powerful TV executive and asked him, "Is it ever going to happen?" She wanted to know if she would ever be successful. Mr. Littlefield encouraged her and told her to keep trying. A few months later, the script for a new show called Friends Like Us arrived. But she was still facing harsh criticism from the industry. Her agent told her she was too chubby for Hollywood. He said she needed to lose weight to get roles. She lost 30 pounds right before her audition for Friends. This shows the huge pressure on young actresses in Hollywood. She was about to become a star, but she was tired, discouraged, and being told she wasn't good enough. Something was about to change.
In the spring of 1994, Jennifer Aniston auditioned for a new sitcom. It was about 6 friends living in New York City. She was 25 years old and tired of failed shows. What happened next changed her life and television history. The producers of Friends first wanted her to play Monica Geller. But another actress, Courtney Cox, also wanted that part. Courtney argued that her personality was more like Monica's. Jennifer felt a stronger connection to Rachel Green, the runaway bride. The producers agreed, and the roles were switched. This was a huge opportunity, and Jennifer took a big risk for it. She was also offered a job on the famous show Saturday Night Live. But she felt that Friends was the right choice. She said no to SNL and put all her hope into the new sitcom.
There was one big problem. Jennifer was already in another show called Muddling Through. If that show was successful, she would have to leave Friends. This was a huge risk for NBC. But they were so sure she was the perfect Rachel. They hired her anyway, hoping the other show would fail. The situation was so uncertain that, in early photo shoots, she was sometimes asked to step out of the picture. This was just in case she had to be replaced. Finally, Jennifer personally asked a CBS executive to let her out of her contract. She knew Friends was a special show. In the end, Muddling Through was canceled. The role of Rachel Green was hers for good. The whole process happened very fast. She later said, "I had auditioned the day before, and I think it was by 2 o'clock that same day, I got the job."
Once the cast was set, the director, James Burrows, felt something special. He knew the chemistry between the 6 actors was amazing. The actors were Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, Matthew Perry, and David Schwimmer. To celebrate the moment before they became famous, he flew them all to Las Vegas. He took them to dinner at Caesar's Palace. He told them, "This is your last shot at anonymity." He wanted them to enjoy their last moments of normal life. He was right. The show started on September 22, 1994. Almost overnight, their anonymity was gone.
The strong connection between the actors was real. From the start, they became a very close group, like a family. They even had a ritual, a group hug before every show. This showed how close they were. This was the found family that Jennifer had always wanted. It was a supportive place, unlike her difficult childhood. Their bond was so strong, it even affected the show's most famous romance. During the 2021 reunion show, Jennifer and David Schwimmer shared a secret. They said that during the first season, they both had a crushing hard on each other. But, David explained, it was like two ships passing, because one of us was always in a relationship. They never crossed that line. Instead, Jennifer said, they channeled all of our adoration and love for each other into Ross and Rachel.
When Friends started, it became a huge cultural event. And Rachel Green was at the center of it all. She became an icon and a trendsetter. It all started with her hair. In 1995, her hairstylist, Chris McMillan, gave her a choppy, layered haircut. It soon became famous as the Rachel. The hairstyle was incredibly popular. Women all over the world went to their salons asking for the Rachel. It was more than a haircut, it was a symbol of the mid-90s. It looked effortless but stylish. Funnily enough, Jennifer herself didn't like the hairstyle because it was hard to manage. But it became one of the most requested haircuts in history. This made her a major trendsetter.
But the Rachel effect was about more than just hair. The character's clothes became a guide to 90s fashion. Costume designer Deborah McGuire created Rachel's look. Her style changed as her character grew, from a spoiled girl to a fashion executive. Her signature outfits became popular for a whole generation. These included plaid miniskirts, turtlenecks, denim overalls, and knee-high boots. Her clothes perfectly represented the fashion of the decade. Rachel Green's style has remained popular for a long time. Years later, a new generation discovered Friends on streaming services. Young people on social media like TikTok started recreating her famous looks. The hashtag Rachel Green Outfits has millions of views. This shows the lasting impact of the character. Through Rachel Green, Jennifer Aniston became a global superstar and the face of an era.
As Friends became more popular, the stars became more valuable. But at first, they were not all paid the same. The story of how they became the highest-paid cast in TV history is a story of solidarity. In the first season, all 6 actors were paid $22,500 for each episode. But in the second season, the Ross and Rachel storyline became very popular. So, the network started paying Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer more than the others. Their salaries were between $20,000 and $40,000 per episode. This could have divided the cast. But they chose to do something different. Before season 3, they decided to negotiate together as a group. David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston were earning the most. But they agreed to take less money so that everyone could have the same salary.
This all-for-one and one-for-all strategy was very unusual at the time. The studio wanted to negotiate with each actor separately. But the cast stayed united. They knew the show's success came from the chemistry of the whole group. Their unity was their power. The studio finally agreed. For season 3, all 6 actors were paid $75,000 per episode. This strategy set a new standard in Hollywood. From that point on, their salaries grew together. For season 4, They earned $85,000 per episode. For Season 5, it was $100,000. Season 6 saw them earning $125,000. Then, for Seasons 7 and 8, their pay jumped to a huge $750,000 per episode.
The final negotiation was in 2002. They made a historic deal for $1 million per episode each for the last 2 seasons. This made Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow the highest-paid television actresses of all time. The Guinness Book of World Records even noted it. The negotiation was tense. At one point, an NBC executive threatened to say it was the final season. This was a tactic to make them accept less money. But they held strong and got their $1 million salary. Their success was more than just about money. It was a powerful statement about their unity and their value as a group. They had truly become partners in the amazing success they created together.
In the early 2000s, Jennifer Aniston was at the top of her game. She was the star of the biggest TV show and a fashion icon. She was also part of Hollywood's most famous couple. Her relationship with Brad Pitt was a cultural obsession. Their story began in 1998, when their agents set them up on a date. Both were recently single and the connection was instant. They tried to keep their romance private, but it was impossible. They made their first public appearance as a couple at the 1999 Emmy Awards. The world loved them together. A few months later, at a Sting concert, Jennifer showed off a huge diamond engagement ring. Their wedding on July 29, 2000, was a huge event. It was a $1 million ceremony on a cliff in Malibu. There were 50,000 flowers, a gospel choir, and fireworks. They were like Hollywood royalty.
For a few years, they seemed to live a perfect life. Their careers were both very successful. Brad Pitt even guest-starred on Friends in a funny episode. They also started a production company together called Plan B Entertainment. In a 2004 interview, Jennifer said she was ready to start a family. She said, "It's time." But her hopeful words would soon become sad. The fairy tale was about to have a very public and sudden ending.
On January 7, 2005, the fairy tale ended. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston announced they were separating. The news shocked the world. Their official statement tried to control the story. They said their separation was not because of tabloid rumors. But everyone was talking about one thing: Angelina Jolie. Brad had been filming the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Angelina. There were many rumors about them having a romance on set. Even though their statement denied the rumors, the public timing was hard to ignore. Interestingly, Jennifer's friend Courtney Cox later said that Brad had told Jennifer about his feelings for Angelina before the public knew. This suggests the end of the marriage was very painful and complicated behind the scenes.
What happened next was a huge media frenzy. The public and the tabloids quickly took sides. The Team Jen versus Team Angelina story began. It was on t-shirts and magazine covers everywhere. This created simple, gendered roles for the two women. Jennifer was the good wife who was hurt. Angelina was the dangerous other woman. This situation became even more intense in May 2005. W Magazine published a photoshoot called Domestic Bliss. It showed Brad and Angelina acting like a married couple with children. Many people, including Jennifer, thought this was very insensitive. It seemed to show off the relationship that ended Hollywood's golden couple. Jennifer later famously said that her ex-husband was missing a sensitivity chip.
The public reaction was about more than just 3 celebrities. It showed people's feelings about love, marriage, and being a woman. The media created a battle between 2 different types of women. Team Jen supported traditional marriage and the loyal wife. Team Angelina represented a more modern idea of passion and freedom. The media created and sold a cultural war, using Jennifer and Angelina as the main figures. During all this chaos, Jennifer handled herself with amazing grace. She mostly stayed quiet. Her first big interview was in September 2005 with Vanity Fair. She looked both sad and strong on the cover. In the interview, she was honest and dignified. She admitted she was hurt and confused. She said, "Am I lonely? Yes. Am I upset? Yes." But she refused to be a victim. She said she would always love Brad and hoped they could be friends again. This interview helped her gain a lot of public support and respect. She was taking back control of her own story.
After her divorce, the media gave Jennifer a new role, the lonely, sad woman. Tabloids constantly wrote about her love life and her being childless. She was turned into a stereotype, what she later called a sad, childless human. For years, she quietly ignored this. But in 2016, after more false pregnancy rumors, she had enough. She decided to fight back with a powerful essay in the Huffington Post. It was a key moment where she declared her independence from the media's story. "For the record, I am not pregnant. What I am is fed up," she wrote. She criticized the way women are judged for their looks and whether they are mothers. Her essay included a powerful message. "We are complete with or without a mate, with or without a child," she wrote. "We get to decide for ourselves what is beautiful. We don't need to be married or mothers to be complete." With that essay, she took control of her story and turned her personal frustration into a strong statement for all women.
Years later, she added a very personal detail to this story. In a 2022 interview, she revealed something for the first time. During the years the media called her selfish for not having kids, she was secretly struggling with infertility. "I was trying to get pregnant," she said. "It was a challenging road for me, the baby-making road." She talked about trying IVF treatments and everything she could to have a baby. This news was shocking. It changed the meaning of years of public gossip. The childless woman on magazine covers wasn't selfish. She was a woman fighting a private, difficult battle in public. She said the story that she was selfish was really hard because the truth was the opposite. She shared her story many years later to take back her past. It was also a way to support other women with similar struggles. She turned the most painful part of her public life into a source of strength for herself and others.
After her very public divorce, Jennifer Aniston's love life continued to be a topic of public interest. She dated actor Vince Vaughn and musician John Mayer. But in 2010, she reconnected with actor and writer Justin Theroux. They had met before, but in 2011, while working on the movie Wanderlust, they fell in love. Jennifer joked that her first impression of Justin, with his dark style, was that he could be a serial killer. But she soon found out he was the nicest person in the world. Their relationship was more private than her one with Brad Pitt. They seemed like a normal, stylish couple. They got engaged and then married on August 5, 2015. The wedding was a surprise ceremony in their backyard. It was small and personal.
For a while, they seemed very happy together. Married life is so normal and fun, she said in 2016. But they're different lifestyles. She liked Los Angeles, he liked New York, created problems. In February 2018, they announced they were separating. Once again, Jennifer was in the middle of a public breakup. But this time, the story was different. It was a story of respect and friendship. Their statement said the decision was mutual and lovingly made. They said they were two best friends who have decided to part ways as a couple, but look forward to continuing our cherished friendship. And this time, it was true. They have remained very close friends.
This experience helped Jennifer develop a very mature view of her relationships. She started to disagree with the idea that her two divorces were failures. In a 2019 interview, she explained her perspective. "My marriages," she said, "they've been very successful, in my personal opinion. And when they came to an end, it was a choice that was made because we chose to be happy." She rejected the idea of staying in a marriage because of fear. "To stay in a marriage based on fear," she said, "feels like you're doing your one life a disservice." This showed how much she had grown as a person. The woman who used to be defined by her relationships was now defining them on her own terms. Her friendly relationships with both Justin Theroux and Brad Pitt show her philosophy of love, respect, and choosing happiness.
While Jennifer was famous from Friends, she was also working hard to become a movie star. Moving from a famous TV character to a respected film actor is very difficult. Jennifer did it with a smart strategy. She starred in popular comedies to become a box office success. At the same time, she acted in smaller, independent films to show her acting skills. Her early movie roles were in romantic comedies like She's the One and Picture Perfect. In 1999, she was in the comedy Office Space. The movie became a cult classic and showed her talent for comedy. But the real turning point was the 2002 independent film, The Good Girl. She played a sad cashier in a Texas store. The role was the complete opposite of the fashionable Rachel Green. It was a serious, emotional performance that surprised everyone. The famous critic Roger Ebert said it was a major breakthrough for her. He wrote that after this film, it will no longer be possible to consider her in the same way.
Over 10 years later, she tried for another big artistic role in the 2014 drama Cake. She played Claire, a woman suffering from chronic pain and sadness. It was a role with no glamour. She appeared on screen with no makeup and scars on her face. She worked hard to get the role, knowing it was a part she usually wasn't offered. The movie itself didn't make much money, but Jennifer's performance was praised by almost everyone. The industry noticed her talent. She was nominated for a Golden Globe and a Screen Actors Guild Award. She didn't get an Oscar nomination, but the campaign was still a success. It proved she was a serious dramatic actress. With these roles, she showed she could be both a commercial star and a respected artist.
While she was earning respect in independent films, she was also becoming a huge box office star. For more than 10 years, she was the queen of romantic comedies. Her name on a movie poster meant it would likely be a success. Her status as an A-list movie star was confirmed in 2003. She starred with Jim Carrey in the comedy Bruce Almighty. The movie was a huge global hit, making $484 million worldwide. This was her biggest commercial success and proved she was a major movie star. After that, she had a long list of hit movies. She starred with Ben Stiller in Along Came Polly. She was with Vince Vaughn in The Breakup. And she was with Owen Wilson in the emotional movie Marley and Me. All of these films were big box office successes.
Her success continued. In 2011, she starred with Adam Sandler in Just Go With It. She also played a very different character in the dark comedy Horrible Bosses. In that movie, she was a funny but inappropriate dentist. In 2013, her movie We're the Millers was another huge hit. People loved her because she was glamorous but also relatable. They felt like they knew her. The warmth and humor she showed as Rachel Green worked perfectly on the big screen. To summarize her film career, she balanced big hits with serious dramas. For example, the blockbuster comedy Bruce Almighty was a huge financial success. At the same time, the dramatic film The Good Girl earned her critical respect. Another hit comedy, We're the Millers, made a lot of money. And the serious drama Cake earned her major award nominations. She successfully managed both sides of her career. She had not only escaped the shadow of Friends, she had built an amazing film career on her own.
As Jennifer became an A-list movie star, she also wanted more control. She wanted to be a power player in the industry. She wanted to make the decisions, not just act. In 2008, she started her own production company, Echo Films, with her friend Kristen Hahn. This wasn't her first time producing. She had started Plan B Entertainment with Brad Pitt, but left after their divorce. Echo Films was her own vision. The company wanted to tell stories about relatable human characters. Through Echo, Jennifer produced many of her own films. These included Cake and the Netflix movie Dumplin'. This showed her moving from being an actress to being the CEO of her own career.
In 2021, she started a new business outside of Hollywood. She launched Lullaby, a haircare brand. The brand's idea was to use clean, plant-based ingredients to make great products. This reflected her own personal values. Lullaby started by selling directly to customers online with one main product. The product quickly won awards and became a bestseller. Jennifer was involved in every part of the business, from creating the products to marketing. The brand's success showed her skills as a businessperson. In 2023, Lullaby started selling its products in Ulta Beauty stores across the United States. This was a major step for the company.
Maybe the biggest sign of her change into a media boss was when she joined Instagram in October 2019. For years, she had stayed away from social media. She once said, "I hate it. It's torture for me." She didn't like the culture of comparing yourself to others. However, she knew it was a powerful tool for business. She said the main reason she joined was to promote her brand, Lullaby. Before making her public account, she secretly made a stalker account to learn how it worked. Her first official post was a huge event. It was a selfie with all 5 of her friends' co-stars. So many people tried to follow her that it temporarily crashed her page. She set a Guinness World Record for getting 1 million followers the fastest. She did it in just 5 hours and 16 minutes. This showed how popular she still was. By using a platform she disliked, she showed she understood modern media. She was no longer just a subject of the media. She was a powerful media force herself.
In 2019, 15 years after Friends ended, Jennifer Aniston made a big return to television. But it wasn't for a nostalgic sitcom. She starred in the Apple TV Plus drama, The Morning Show. This was a powerful statement about her growth as an artist and a producer. Importantly, she was not just the star. She was also an executive producer with her co-star, Reese Witherspoon. This gave her a lot of creative control. "We're involved in every single aspect of the show," she said. She also earned a reported $2 million per episode. This showed the power and respect she had in Hollywood.
Her character, Alex Levy, was a morning news anchor. Her world changes when her co-host is fired for sexual misconduct. The role was maybe the most complex of her career. Alex was not always a likable character. She was ambitious, insecure, and sometimes part of the problem. Jennifer gave a raw and powerful performance. Critics loved her work. They said it was her career best work and praised her for playing such a deep and conflicted character. She won a Screen Actors Guild Award and was nominated for an Emmy and a Golden Globe. Jennifer knew this was an important new chapter. She compared this intense drama to the show that made her famous. She said, "It is layered, it's complicated, it's emotional. So let's just say, it's not Friends." She had returned to TV, but this time, she was in charge, telling a modern and adult story.
For over 30 years, Jennifer Aniston has been a constant part of our culture. She has changed from America's sweetheart to a global superstar, producer, and entrepreneur. Her long career is amazing in an industry where fame is often short. Her lasting appeal comes from a smart balance. She is a fashion and beauty icon, but she also seems accessible and relatable, like a friend. This balance also applies to her ideas on health and wellness. She has moved from intense workouts to a more gentle approach that focuses on listening to her body. She says her disciplined lifestyle has helped her feel stronger than in my 20s.
But maybe her most important legacy is how she became a different kind of role model. In a world of perfect images, Jennifer has been honest. She has spoken openly about her difficult childhood, her painful divorce, and her private fertility struggles. She has also talked about her frustration with sexism in the media. By doing this, she has shown the reality behind the glamour of celebrity. She has shown that every life, even a seemingly perfect one, has challenges and pain. She taught by her example that happiness is a choice. She showed that a life can be complete on its own terms, without needing marriage or motherhood.
Looking back at her journey, a clear story appears. She went from an insecure young actress looking for a found family to a confident industry leader creating her own. Jennifer Aniston's story is not just about surviving Hollywood, it's about mastering it. She handled the intense fame of the 90s. She survived the cruel attention of the media. She came out of it all stronger, richer, and more in control than ever. She took the difficult parts of her life and, as she said, made lemonade. In the end, she is the builder of her own success. She is the writer of her own story. She is the undisputed CEO of her own life.